Hi everyone, it's Cheryl from ideasforcardmaking.net and I'm here today for Couture Creations, and I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be using some alcohol inks from Couture Creations, and I've decided to try doing this on my Gelli Plate. I've recently found out that you can actually put the alcohol inks on the Gelli Plate. I know there's a few different brands around, but I've had this for years upon years. So it's all stuck there. So I'm just going to give this a go. Not sure how it's going to turn out because I literally have not done it before. I've just seen it done on YouTube. So to get started, we need some brayers. So I've got a little tiny one here and I've got a big one. Now this is really old. I'm not sure how I'm going to go with that because it's actually quite sticky because I haven't used it for years, and I normally don't clean up my brayer. That's got a bit of fluff on it. So we'll just see how that goes. Now first of all, we don't need the blending solution for this. First of all, we need to put the alcohol inks down, and then we have to put some acrylic paint on the top. Now I haven't got it, I've just grabbed anything out of my stash. It doesn't really matter what the colour is. Now the thing that I learned about the Gelli Plate is everything's back to front. So what you put on first is going to be what shows, and what you put on last is going to be at the bottom. So the acrylic paint is actually put on to allow us to lift up the alcohol inks, if that makes sense. Okay, let's have a go and see what we can do here. I love my gold and everything, so we'll get some gold, get some baby blue. I like to give them a really good shake. What else have I got here? Pumpkin, apple, pink, lilac, any of those really. Okay, we'll give them all a really good shake. Get that out of the way. Okay, right, I think those colours will be enough. We'll just move that out of the way. We'll put down the green, but always give your alcohol inks a really good shake. So just sprinkling that all over. I'm going to still use the alcohol ink paper because I'm not really sure how it's going to work with even with the acrylic paint on top. So I'm just going to use the alcohol ink paper just in case. I'd rather do that than take the chance of it not working, you know, of it sort of going all weird on regular paper, because it's not made for regular paper. So I'm just going to put all these down, just some different colours. I want some pink. I'm going to just spread all that in a minute with the brayer, and then I may have to put more. Now here's the gold. So as I said, I like gold. I just like that extra bit of oomph on that. Alright, so I'll just use the brayer. I don't want to get it too mixed up. I'm not going to get a lot there. I might have to go over that again. As you can see, I've actually put a bit of paper, white paper underneath, just so that you can see it a bit better. I'm not really happy with the depth of that, so I'm going to put some more. I'm just trying to think, maybe some more pumpkin. Put some pumpkin on, because I just want a bit more. I mean, it will show up more than what you can see here. It's actually very deceiving on the Gelli Plate. I'll put a bit more of everything, and just, as you can see, it is spreading, so we don't need it. Well, I was about to say you don't need the blending solution, but I wouldn't put it on because I don't know whether it might damage the Gelli Plate. And these things are not cheap. So you don't want to go around damaging your Gelli Plate, that's for sure. Right, what else can we put on there? A bit more blue. We can actually leave it like that. We don't have to brayer it, but I just like to... I might just do a little tiny bit. I won't use the little one this time. I'll just do a little tiny bit of brayering. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Okay. Now the video that I watched said we need to leave that to dry for a minute. And it actually doesn't take very long for the alcoholings to dry anyway. I'm not sure about on the Gelli Plate because, as I said before, this is literally the first time that I have used it. I'm just going to try and dry it off a little bit quicker so we can have a go here. Excuse me, sorry, I have got a tickle in my throat. Okay, that looks to me to be dry enough. So we'll put the the acrylic paint on there. Oops, that's got a bit of a lump. It's very old. I don't know if it's going to be any good. Hang on. Let me grab a tissue and get that blob off. I've had this for years. I haven't used these paints for literally years. We'll just give that another shake. I don't know if this is going to work. It's a bit lumpy. All right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go and see what happens. Because all we want is to literally give that a coating to lift it up. I think that's going to be okay. I really think that'll be okay. I'll have to scrape that off in a minute. I need a bit of junk paper. I'll do that in a minute. Let's just... I'll just dry that off a little bit too. Doesn't usually need much, but this is pretty... I've missed it now. This is pretty old, this paint, as you can tell. I'll have to get myself some new paints. Let's just see how this goes. So I've just got one of these alcoholic papers, and I'm just going to put that down. Now, you can actually, if you want to put a bit more pressure, just go over it with your brayer. Don't worry about that on the back, that's not going to matter. Just lift that up. Let's see what we've got. No, that's not going to work. Okay. Okay, so that didn't work with the alcohol paper, so I'm just going to try it with the regular paper because maybe it was too shiny to lift everything up, so I'll give that another go. So this is just regular cardstock that I've put on here. Oh, there we go. This is better. Okay. And you can see, because I've used the gold one, the golden age alcohol inks, you can actually see that ink at the back. And I've still got some of the alcohol ink sitting on there. I've just pulled out a baby wipe because I was going to get rid of all of that, but I decided to try the regular paper cardstock. So let me see. I'll just get another sheet of cardstock. I'll just get a few because I think that I might be able to pick up that alcohol ink there, but I'm not really sure. So let's just give this another go. Pull that off. No, we haven't got anything more from that. Okay, and to clean that up, I'm just going to clean that up as best I can. It looks like I'm going to have a bit of, oh yeah, there you go, a bit of pressure in that alcohol ink, that residue alcohol ink is coming off. So that's just literally just a baby wipe, and that's what I normally use to clean up my jelly plate. Just get rid of all of that off there. Alright, that's a bit messy. I think that paint is kind of dead. That's about it. That'll dry off okay. So that's what we've got. That's what I've ended up with. I'm just trying to see if I can give you, yeah, can you see that sparkle that I've got in there? That's from the gold. And that is going to give us a nice background for a card. It's right through it because I use the brayer and spread it out. That's it. That was very easy, and I was really surprised that you could put alcohol inks on the jelly plate, but there's another way to use your alcohol inks. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. So I decided to start again, and this time instead of using the Golden Age alcohol inks, I thought I'd give it a go with the pearl inks, which are not so translucent. Now this is what we got before, and you can see a lot of that, the acrylic paint that I put in the background. So this time I've changed the acrylic paint. I'm using a pink one, which appears not to be quite so lumpy. And I'm going to use these three, and I'm going to use the gold as well because I really liked that look that I got with the gold. So I'm just adjusting the light because it looks a bit dull at the moment. Okay, so we'll get started. See how this one goes. Alright, so I'll put a bit of pink. You can see already this is not as translucent as what the last one was. So I'll put pink. I'll put some green. I've given these all a pretty good shake. The blue, which is called Lake. I'm not making it really big because I'm going to use my A5 paper. That's the bit I used before with that bit of paint, but I'll use, oh, the other side's got, it doesn't matter. It'll be fine. That's the great thing that I love about the jelly plate, that you just do whatever. You just get a mix of things, and no two designs are going to be the same. You're just going to end up with all different sorts of things. Let's give that a bit more of a shake, because I didn't shake it enough, I think. You do need to give the Golden Age ones a really good shake. Otherwise they can clog up a little bit. I think I've probably got enough gold there. So now I'll get my brayer. Just move them out of the way. So I'll get my brayer, which I have cleaned off. I'm just going to do it very gently, and you can already see that we've got far more colour in this one. I'm just going to put a bit more pink to start with. I just like that a little bit darker for the background. I'm going to make this into a card eventually. Now a lot of people who do use the jelly plate use just A4 paper, which is printer paper, which I've got some here. But I want to get this onto cardstock this time. I'm just doing little drops in between. I might leave those. let's just have a look in a minute, see what the design comes out like. Maybe do a little tiny bit of brayering. Put some gold because I like gold. I like having that sparkle of the gold, and you know, there's always lots of backgrounds and gold glitter paper and all sorts of stuff that you can put in. I like to include a bit of whatever colour I've got. I like to put that somewhere else so that it's sort of they all go together. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of braying with this little brayer. Don't want to take too much of that away, but I don't want it to look too uniform either. Do a little bit up here and leave those circly ones. I'll just spread that gold a bit. Now what you can do with what you've got left, I'll just move them out of the way, is you can just brayer it off. Now what I normally do, if you're using a lot, if you're doing a lot, you're going to get a lot on here. But as you saw, for this one I've only done a little bit. But what I normally do is I take that excess off into my journal. And that just gives me some backgrounds on the papers. Now, I'm going to do what I did before because this does need to be reasonably dry. Otherwise, when I put the brayer on it, the paint on it, it's just going to spread, and I don't want it to spread. I want that to stay there. So let's do this for a minute. That actually feels pretty dry because, as I said earlier, the alcohol inks dry very quickly. Anyway, so I've got this pink acrylic paint. I actually recommend, if you can, to use fairly new ones. Some of these are like 10 years old or more, as I just haven't used them for so long. This one's better. It's not all lumpy, but it's thick. I'll just put a little bit. I don't want too much on there. I'll use the bigger one this time. It's a bit messy, this sprayer, because it's so old and it's got so much on there, so much old paint. What I'm going to do, because I don't want it too thick, I really only want it to lift up the alcohol ink for me. I don't want too much in the background. So I'm going to take off as much as I can of that. I've got heaps of paper here. I'll just shove that out of the way for now. I just don't want too much. I've obviously put too much on the plate. See how that's getting thinner? So if you put too much on, that's what you do. You just brayer it off. Turn that around. That's not bad now, because I just don't want too much of that showing. I want more of the alcohol ink to be showing. I think that's all right. I can see some of the alcohol inks there now. Put that aside. Now this one has got just some little bits of the yellowy beigey colour that I had before on there, but that's all right. That'll just add to it anyway. So we'll just put that on there. And I like to use the brayer because it gives me a really even, smooth finish to it. So I'll just do that for a minute. And let's see how this goes. Right, and let's see what we've got. Oh, looks like we've picked up most of it. It's very sticky, but don't worry about that. Oh, that's what we've got this time. Totally different to what we had before. I don't know. I'll just see if I can get a bit more light there for you. Yeah, I'll just tip my light up a bit. Can you see all of that? No, you can't really see it this time. I'm just trying to show you the sparkle. Let me try and bring that in a bit closer. See if you can see that. Oh, there we go. There's the sparkle now. That's better. That's this one we've just made. Let's see if I can get that back out again so you can see it better. And that's the one we did before. So you can see this, they're totally different. The one on the left, I used the Pearl alcohol inks, and the one on the right, I used the Golden Age alcohol inks. So that just gives you another way to use your alcohol inks from Couture Creations. What I suggest you do, there's a couple of ways you can clean up your Gelli Plate. Excuse me. One of them is to just do another pull. I'll just move those out of the way. Excuse me, I'm really losing my voice today. So a pull is when you put card or paper or whatever on the top, and I just give it a rub. And to be honest with you, you don't have to clean up your Gelli Plate. You can actually see, just pull that now, that's pulled up some of it, not a lot of it. So I'm going to use, you can just see a little bit because maybe I've left it too dry too long. You can see all these bits around here that are from other times, and normally I don't really worry about it because that will go on to your next one. So as I said earlier, most people use the printer paper to do the pulls, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted cardstock, because I want to make a card with it. So I'll just clean up that paint that I've just put on there, but I'm not going to worry about this. It's been there for a long time, but what happens is when you put your new lots of, if you're using paint, you put your new lot of paint on, and this will all reactivate. You can see I've got on the other side, I haven't got anywhere near as much, but I have still got some bits, and that's, you know, I've just left the paint on and some of it's gone onto there. I just leave this on to protect it. I mean, it's much better if you do. I've got the other one that before I put it away, I'll put the other cover on and I keep it in its box because that protects it as well, the original box that it came in. So that's really all you need to do, is to wipe it over with a baby wipe, and that's gone. There's no alcohol ink left there because it's all lifted up onto here. Alright, that's it. That's all I wanted to show you today. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll catch you later.